The day commenced with a bright, crisp morning in Yerevan. The view from our hotel room was spectacular. Rolling hills bathed in golden light, and the distant outline of Mount Ararat, partially veiled by mist, held our gaze in silence. At breakfast, one detail stayed with me: the honey served with the wax still intact in one solid golden block. There was a sense of authenticity and purity in that small touch. Alongside were cold cuts, dried fruits, fresh figs, and nuts, a quiet but thoughtful spread. After our customary photograph in front of the hotel, we set out to visit the Armenian Genocide Memorial Complex, Tsitsernakaberd. Perched on a hill overlooking Yerevan, Tsitsernakaberd, meaning Swallow's Fortress, is more than a monument. It's a national wound laid bare and honored. The 44-meter tall stele, sharp and split, points skyward like a blade. It represents the national rebirth of Armenia, a people who endured near annihilation but survived. Below the stele is the eternal flame, housed within a circle of 12 basalt slabs leaning inward. These 12 slabs represent the 12 provinces of historic Armenia, now lost. The eternal flame once lit has never gone out since. Its flicker is watched in silence by visitors from around the world, heads bowed, voices hushed. I found myself lingering there, unsure whether I was mourning a people or marveling at their resilience. Perhaps both. Adjacent is the Genocide Museum, opened in 1995, marking the 80th anniversary of the genocide. The exhibits are intense: first-hand accounts, faded photographs, official Ottoman decrees, and the tragic faces of children and families torn apart. One image stood out: a haunting portrait that strangely resembled a movie actor. I'm sure you can guess who. Another striking section covered the film Ravished Armenia, 1919, starring Aurora Mardiganian, a genocide survivor who later told her story to the world. She endured and escaped horrors that no one should face, yet stood before the world to bear witness. That story lingered with me. Before leaving, we paused at the map of the genocide, etched in stone, marking the Armenian villages wiped off the map. Then came the visitor's book, where we wrote what we could, although no words seemed adequate. From remembrance, we moved to reverence. Our next stop was Vagharshapat, the spiritual capital of Armenia and home to the mother see of Holy Etchmiadzin, considered the oldest cathedral in the world, built in 301 AD, after Armenia became the first Christian nation. It happened to be the local celebration of Palm Sunday. Children wore olive wreaths, held hand-woven palm branches, and filled the cathedral with a quiet, reverent joy. Although the service had ended by the time we reached, we still saw the faithful adorned with olive wreaths on their heads. We too joined in, placing wreaths on our own heads and capturing some beautiful moments. Inside the Etchmiadzin treasury, we saw the Holy Lance, spear of Longinus, believed to be the spear that pierced Christ's side during the crucifixion. It was brought to Armenia by Apostle Thaddeus and is now encased in glass, a fragment of Noah's Ark, said to be retrieved from Mount Ararat, the symbolic heart of Armenia, the holy right hand of Saint Gregory the Illuminator, Armenia's patron saint, who baptized the nation into Christianity, the Holy Cross of Saint Nerses the Great, believed to protect the Armenian nation. Each of these relics isn't just a sacred object. It's a reminder that faith can survive even genocide. After the emotionally intense visit to Vagharshapat, we paused for lunch at a quiet, charming place called Café Molinari. The name might sound Italian, but the experience we had here was uniquely Armenian and deeply human. What struck me most about this cafe was its inclusive workforce. Many of the staff members are differently abled, and they work with remarkable dignity and grace. The lady who served us was a middle-aged woman, deaf and mute, yet full of warmth and expression. Despite the absence of spoken words, her communication was clear, kind, and deeply touching. We began with warm, crusty bread, followed by a variety of fresh vegetable salads. The highlight of the meal was a traditional Armenian dish called tolma, grape leaves wrapped around a mixture of rice, herbs, and meat, then gently baked. It was earthy, subtly spiced, and comforting. We ended the meal with strong Armenian coffee, rich and aromatic. Post lunch, we visited the Yerevan railway station, built during the Soviet era. Though architecturally impressive, with a massive dome and expansive facade, it is surprisingly underutilized today. Only a couple of trains operate between Georgia and Russia. Outside the station stands a majestic equestrian statue of a warrior holding a sword, symbolic of Armenia's resilience. We then made our way to the Mother Armenia statue in Victory Park. This towering statue, unveiled in 1967, stands 22 meters tall on a 29-meter pedestal. It replaced an earlier statue of Stalin and was designed by sculptor Ara Harutyunyan. The figure, a stern woman with a sword, symbolizes peace through strength and the enduring spirit of the Armenian people. From the base of the monument, we were treated to a panoramic view of Yerevan, though the weather had turned gray. Mount Ararat was faint in the distance. Our next stop was the Cascade Complex, a massive stairway of fountains, gardens, and sculptures, connecting central Yerevan to the monument neighborhood. Unfortunately, it started to rain steadily by the time we arrived, cutting our visit short. To end the day, we sought refuge at a Japanese restaurant near Freedom Square. Despite the unexpected switch in cuisine, the sushi was excellent and the atmosphere cozy. We enjoyed a couple of cocktails, including a martini, as we reflected on a day filled with remembrance, reverence, and the quiet power of resilience.